Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Canto 6, Chapter 8, Text 13. Jaleshu mam rakshatu matsyan mitir. Yado ganibhyo varunasya pashat. Staleshu maya vatu vamano yat. Vikrama ke vatu visvarupaha. Translation. May the Lord who assumes the body of a great fish protect me in the water from the fierce animals that are associates of the demigod Varuna. By expanding his illusory energy, the Lord assumed the form of the dwarf Vamana. May Vamana protect me on the land. Since the gigantic form of the Lord, Visvarupa, conquers the three worlds, may he protect me in the sky. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Pretty short, a short one at that. This mantra seeks the protection of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the water, land, and sky. In his incarnation as the fish, Vamanadev and Visvarupa. Unfortunately, I can't get online down here. I was supposed to bring up what I wanted to share from yesterday. So I'll just improvise from my notes. The first verse that came to mind after reading this verse was the Bhagavad Gita, Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam Savaloka Maheshwaram Suriram Sava Bhutam Nam Yaktva Mam Shantam Richati. And Prabhupada says the three facts in this verse are the Supreme Lord Krishna is the proprietor of everything, one. Second, he's the well-wishing friend of all living entities. Just think about that. The well-wishing friend of all living entities. The Lord is super soul, and he is always with the living entity as super soul. Wherever form he is, even in the atom, he's present, witnessing, just hoping one day that he'll turn to him and leave this material world. He's a well-wishing friend for all living entities. And then the third one is, he's the supreme enjoyer of everything. So if Prabhupada was given, if we have those three, understand those 3 points, then we can make a lot of process or advancement in the spiritual life. I wanted to share with you, Sri Chaitanya, these 3 verses that I always like reading when I give my presentation about the book that most of you may or may not know. Okay. Anyone who's taken birth as a human being in Bharata-bhumi in India, Bharata-bhumi. This is a very prolific program Prabhupada gave to me because I didn't plan this. And what happened was, I studied this. We and some God brothers, we used to get together every year, and study Prabhupada's books and Shastra. And one particular year, we just came across subject matter of anybody who takes birth in Bharata-bhumi and how fortunate they are. So I really like that subject matter. Was really because during Prabhupada's time I was here, and I used to serve him. And I knew that Prabhupada wanted me to come back to India to do some preaching work, because I promised him. But I didn't know what I was going to do, and I didn't know when I was going to come back. But he arranged everything for me. So over 20 years of research, what happened, I would research all these different quotes and lectures and speeches for Prabhupada about everyone who's born here. Everybody in this room is so fortunate because you put in the work. And I'm not really trying to make you feel good, but it's just true. You put in the work because you cannot take birth as a human being in India without putting the work in. Dive in the trainer. You have to put in the work. And so if you take birth here, then Prabhupada says that 50%, he says 50% you've already done the work, 50% birthright, just from your birth. And then the other 50, he said, by the influence of this age, that keeps people from not being able to take advantage of it. So he says, so in most respects, India is still 80% religious. Then he says, that is the special privilege of taking birth in India, and a special responsibility also. He says 50% is a birthright, and the other 50% by culture. But unfortunately, the second 50% not being cultivated due to the influence of Kali. And I'm traveling all over this country, and each day I get more and more realizations how fortunate these people are. And that all you have to do is the other 50. Just by, it's like you said, birth, just by taking birth. Just by taking birth. Just think about that. Just by taking birth, you already performed the activities to go back home. Just do the other 50 and you don't have to come back. But because of the influence of Kali Yuga and also because of the karma and things that one does that keeps them from doing it. But fortunately for the devotees, they have the opportunity to do this. So that verse, Bharata-bhumi te hoya manusa jamajada, janma satakakari, karapada upakara. Manusha means what? Anybody tell me? Manusha. What does Manusha mean? Huh? Manusha means human. He didn't say Jain, he didn't say Indian, he didn't say Muslim, he didn't say Christian, he didn't say fat, he didn't say skinny, he didn't say black, he didn't say white. He said Manusha, human. All humans. This is the information is for you. And by taking up this mission by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then Pada Upakara, go all over the world and help these souls. So I have so much realization from this information that Prabhupada has given us, and it's just mind-boggling that no one's taken to it like they should, because India should have a flood of people leaving at the airport every day, going to different parts of the world to give this information. But I'm just encouraged from you, because you are very encouraging to see that you're taking up this process on a serious level, and I'm just encouraging you to continue taking up this mantle what Prabhupada's given us. And don't be discouraged by the ups and downs because they're going to come. You know, there was an address that was given in 1835, spoken by a British educator whose name was Lord Macaulay. You might have heard of him. Everybody heard of him? Famous address, and he said he traveled all across the length and breadth of India, and I have not seen one person who is a beggar, who is a thief. Such wealth I have seen in this country, such high moral values, people of such caliber, that I do not think we would ever conquer this country unless we break the very backbone of this nation, which is her spiritual and cultural heritage. And therefore, I propose that we replace her old and ancient education system, her culture, for the Indians think that all that is foreign and English is good and greater than their own. They will lose their self-esteem, their native self-culture, and they will become what we want them, a truly dominated nation. And that's actually was true. It manifested. I mean, you go to the big cities now, they replace the dhotis with the jeans they're torn. No, you can't even see, they don't even wear, the youngsters don't even wear the dhotis anymore because the influence of the West. So I see it like whatever you do in life, Prabhupada said that they're like zeros. There's so many zeros, everybody gets a zero. What's that verse? Tasyaive to prayate kovido. Now lopyate ya brahmatama padiyata. Tal lopyate dukavad anyata to come. Kalena savacha gambiram rahasya. We're already destined what we're going to get. This body has already been made up from all the activities that we performed previously. Just like if you go to take a flight somewhere, you went to the airport, you planned it, the trip, you paid for the ticket, you took your luggage, you checked them in, you got on the plane. Once you're on the plane, you can't get off because you already performed activities. So the same way, this body, you already performed all the activities, what's coming with this. And nobody goes to the pharmacy to buy the latest disease. Please, sir, I would like to get a prescription of the Ebola or the COVID. Can you give me the COVID, please? No. They go there to get something to relieve their element because they didn't ask for it. It's going to come in its own accord. So in the same way, happiness is the same way. So we don't have to endeavor for that. Whatever you're destined is going to come. Trust me, whatever you're destined to get is going to come. If it's not destined to happen, it's not going to go down. I can promise you that on my personal life. And I had to learn that lesson for a long time. You know, it won't happen. You can try, and it has nothing to do with know-how, how much knowledge you have, or any of that. That has nothing to do with it. It's just what's destined for you. You already are destined a certain amount of chapatis that you're going to get this lifetime. That's it. Those are the zeros. Those are the zeros. But the one, Krishna is the most important thing. You put that one in front of the zero, Prabhupada immediately said that one immediately becomes 10. So we have that. We know that. And our life is going to be up and down. All these things are going to happen. But you just have to stay focused on that course and present this information to whoever we meet, best way you can. Stay focused because what this system is. And this human form of life is meant for that. And in this book, when I first came here, the publisher, they put the bio on there. So my realization when I got here last year is it's not about me, it's about Prabhupada's information. So I asked him to take it off, and I put these quotes, these very powerful quotes. And in fact, last year when I came, there was one devotee who purchased the book, and he told me that he read it, and because he read it, he joined. I'd like to read some of these quotes that's on the back. Prabhupada said, "This should be India's mission. India hasn't got to learn from anywhere else. Everything is there. Let them understand the whole philosophy of life perfectly and distribute this. This is India's mission." That's what he said. You don't have to go anywhere else. Now, who's going to accept that? You don't have to go to U.S. You don't have to get a green card. You don't have to go to Europe. Everything's here. Everything is here. Then he says, you have got so exotic knowledge in India, you have kept it packed, and you are going to beg from others. Take this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and assimilate it, make your life successful, distribute it throughout the world. That I want. In fact, Prabhupada, he went to, in 1965, it was the Berkeley University. It was in 1966, actually, it was 66. So it was one Indian student raised his hand, and he asked him, Swamiji, what is this Krishna consciousness movement will do? We require technology. So Prabhupada replied, yes, you are after technology, so you are a beggar. I am not a beggar. I have come here to give something. That is the difference. I have come to give some culture, and you have come to imitate the Western civilization by technology. That is the difference. You will remain a beggar, and I shall remain a giver. That is the difference. He said, before me, so many Swamis came here. They lost even their original dress. Everyone knows, Prabhupada said, everyone knows that I've never changed my dress. Rather, I've given the dress to the foreigners, and they have taken it. That's true. And then he said, so this culture is meant for the human society. Unfortunately, the culture developed on this land of Bharata-bhumi. He said, unfortunately, people who are so much bewildered that they're giving it up. Then he said, I shall go to America, and some of the American boys and girls, younger section, they will accept it, and then I'll bring them here to show these rascals how great this culture is. And he did it. And that's when that was when he had the first wave, when they had that famous what's called white elephant, remember, Satvik, Prabhu? The white elephant, when they had the first wave of the devotees coming to India, and they call them the white elephants. So Prabhupada, he did such a great job for the whole planet. And we have to continue that mantle that he's given us. I'm going to share a great story. There's a place on the border of Bangladesh and West Bengal called Haridaspur. I think y'all might have went to the Parikrama during the Mandala program. Y'all probably went through there, but they didn't stop there. Did you go to Haridaspur? Huh? No. Haridaspur is in Bangladesh. No, it's right on the border. Okay, we can fuss that all day, Sadvik, because I used to go there, and I'll tell you a story. It's actually right on the border of Bangladesh and East Bengal. Anyway, there was a god brother named Prabhu Sarup, and he was one of Prabhupada's last disciples he gave sannyas to, and he became Bhaktivedanta Swami before he passed away. And so at that time, he was the Sevite of Haridaspur. So he wanted to donate Haridaspur to Prabhupada, ISKCON. So Prabhupada took a small amount of devotees. It was very small amount of devotees to Haridaspur, and we all went. See, Jabhataka, Tamal Krishna, and myself, and a few other brahmacharis. And so we all went there to do the cornerstone for the temple that was going to get built there. Because Haridaspur, that was the place where Haridas Thakur would stop and stay and chant. So the ceremony was going on. And so this lesson I'm giving to the kirtaneers, because what happened was, as the ceremony was going, one of the, because Prabhupada was like right here, and I'm sitting about right here because he liked me play the mridanga, so I was playing the drum. It was Maharaj who was chanting, and there was 3 other devotees singing. And so they had the fire cycle going on, and it was performing that ceremony. And so we started chanting, and we did all the pranams. And so when the Maharaj started saying the Maha Mantra, as soon as he chanted Hare Ramo, he stopped. He said, "You don't chant." Because we knew during that time, we don't chant, we don't make mantras up. Krishna's name is Rama, Hare Rama, not Ramo, not Rame, Hare Rama. And so he, even during the, when we would go to his godbrothers' places to go to Yamat during that time, they also were very strict. You chant the mantras properly. Don't make mantras up. Melodies, unlimited, no limit. But don't make up mantras, and don't invent things, and don't chant the Maha Mantras incorrectly. Prabhupada was very strict with that. And you'll never hear any of his kirtans where he chants like that. None. I've never did it. And was a kirtaneer, but I never, that lesson was very profound to me. And then there was another program we went. At that time, many of the Savites of many of the holy places that were attributed to Lord Chaitanya and the Lord Chaitanya's associates. This particular place was the original deities for Mahesh Pandit. And at that program was a very few devotees also. But at that place, Prabhupada spoke almost 3 hours in Bengali. I looked at my watch, it was 2 hours and 45 minutes. He spoke in Bengali. And I think after that particular time, he never spoke that long after that, because that was around the end. But he spoke very long at that particular spot. And of course, the Sevite, he just wanted Prabhupada to fund the renovation, but not let him take it over. So at that time, we didn't, I found out that that was never given to Prabhupada because he wouldn't cooperate. But for 2 hours and 45 minutes, he spoke. And that was a great Anyway, so I encourage everyone here to please continue this process, and Prabhupada has really blessed you all here. I'm mind blown from every time I come here to see what you're doing. It's just a testament to the sincerity of Madhupani and their leadership, because, you know, the truth will not change. Water is always wet. It has nothing to do with what you believe, what I believe, or what one thinks. It just is. We just have the option to accept or not accept. It's not going to change. You can't make stuff up. Just follow what the Acharya has given us. See, there's two systems in the world. There's two. There's a descending and ascending. We follow the top down, from the Acharyas on down. 98% of the world goes the other way, starting with what they think, and then they go from there. But you can't make stuff up. You got to follow exactly what the Acharya is given, and then that way our lives will be purified. So I know it's getting to the time to close out. Is there any questions before we close out? No questions? No questions? Nope. Any comment?
Small clarification, Prabhu. It is important the place where a human being takes birth, or the human being comes and being in touch with a pure devotee, which is more important?
No, just say that again.
Which is more important? A human being taking birth in the Bharata-bhumi or whichever place, or coming and being in touch with a pure devotee?
Well, the subject matter where I'm speaking of, taking birth in Bharata-bhumi, like again, that means you've already put in the work. Just not doing any, if you're not doing any activity, say you don't do anything, you've already put in the work. Of course, you get more of fortune by coming in contact with pure devotees. Bahunam janmanana te jnanavamam prabhajate vasudeva savam iti sa mahatma sadulabha. Takes many, many births and deaths. Takes many births. But still, by taking birth here, that means you've done something. It's just true. You've done. You had to, because that's not. It won't happen if it didn't take place. You won't. If you didn't put in the work, you can't take birth as a human being in Bharata-bhumi without having not put no work in to do that. That's just true. Prabhupada said it because it's set up in such a way that it's easier to perform spiritual activity. It's set up like that. It's almost like a country of ashram. It's a country ashram already, just from birth. All the ashrams sit here. It's just that everything else is just like I said, the zeros. That's all it is. That one is what's most important for anybody to take a birth. So, of course, coming in contact with a pure devotee, that's a different category. But taking birth as a human being in Bharata-bhumi, that's no joke. That's not a small thing. 20 years of research. Just check it out. It's not a small thing.
So other way of saying, whomever is born in India, Bharata-bhumi,
As a human, as a human
being,
Yes.
and they also got the fortune to come and be in touch with pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada. Such a person, living being, cannot be compared with anyone in this whole universe. Can I say like that, Prabhu?
I didn't get that.
Can I make a statement that somebody has taken birth in Bharat-bhumi and also came in touch with pure devotee of like Srila Prabhupada? Such a person is the most fortunate in the whole universe.
No doubt. I won't disagree with that. No, sir. Yes, sir. Very, very much so. But Prabhupada also says that, see, he also says that it's a responsibility that goes along with that. The responsibility to go along with that, and that's big responsibility, heavy. But you have to do the work. You have to do the other 50% in order for that to really to blossom. It's like the seed, a seed. The seed, if you plant the seed, you got to cultivate it. It has to be cultivated. It's not going to grow on its own. And if you don't, and if it goes on, then there's weeds that might even come up. So it's very important that we have to cultivate that Bhaktivedanta, that beach, that seed of devotion that the pure devotee, spiritual master is given, so that it can blossom to Krishna Prem. Because, you know, in our original position, Sat Chit Ananda, the knowledge is already there. In all living entities, pure knowledge is already there. You don't have to, Prabhupada always said that you don't have to do no research. There's no need to do any research. It's all there. And by having the faith, what's that word? Atashi Krishna Namadi? Yeah, having faith in the words of the Lord and the spiritual master, then all the imports of the Vedic literature is revealed. Revelation is revealed because the Chaitanya Guru is already there. He knows what's going on with each and every one of us. So having faith in that, all these things will come up. You know, so I think that both, but having that fortune that you all have, it's not a small thing. It's very, very fortunate. You're very fortunate. Even more so than the other devotees. I'm traveling, me and Sapi, we're good friends, travel all over. I'm traveling all over ISKCON. Of course, I'm almost in like incognito for certain things I can't say, but it's just like some places, it's unfortunate the people are like mushrooms. You know mushrooms? The mushrooms can only be cultivated in the darkness. If you're in the darkness, how are you going to know anything? You're dark, you're blind, you don't know. You're cultivated in the darkness, so, but you're not. It's just a fact, you know. Again, here again. I'm not trying to make you feel good. It's just telling the truth. Tell the truth. Truth don't have nothing to do with what I think or what you think, or what I believe or what you believe. It just is. Water's always wet. It's wet today. It's wet yesterday. It's going to be wet tomorrow. It's going to be wet a billion years from now. That has nothing to do with what we think. It just is. We just have that option to accept or not accept it. But the beauty of it, it don't change. Any other? Stop it.
Srila Prabhupada makes the distinction. It clarifies that distinction between those who join Krishna consciousness from the Western world and the Indians. A devotee was complaining to Srila Prabhupada that these Indians, they are not taking up, they're so materialistic, they are after the knowledge of the West, they just care for nuts and bolts. And Prabhupada said, don't be so proud. Don't be so proud. He said, you have taken up Krishna consciousness, but you cannot see Krishna. Krishna is very far away from you.
Right.
But the Indians, though they are taking up material activities and they have fallen into illusion, if they just turn around, just turn around, look back, and Krishna is right there. They see Krishna. So by the grace of Srila Prabhupada, all of the devotees who have taken birth in this land, Srila Prabhupada simply asked them, just turn around. Just turn around. Don't waste your time with these materialistic activities, pursuits of nuts and bolts. Just turn around. So that is the difference, like Prabhu was saying, that the Indians are definitely favored. Therefore, Bhagavatam says that the demigods, they pray that because the demigods, they know that sooner or later the results of my pious activities are finished. And I have to go back to Martya Lokam. And it's a very scary proposition because they enjoy so much in the heavenly kingdoms that the idea of just coming back to work again like an ass, it's not very palatable. But they pray, my dear Lord, if there is any leftover of my piety,
Right.
kindly let me take birth in Bharatavarsha. Because taking birth in Bharatavarsha gives me this opportunity again to cultivate Krishna consciousness and finish this business. So like he said, Prabhu was explaining that 50% is done just by taking birth here. So now there is 50%. So there is a clear distinction. We are born in Malaysia Desh by some serious karma that we completely forgot what is our relationship with the Lord. We just fell into the lap of Maya and engage in all sorts of sinful activities which are unmentionable. But Indians, you're born in a very good family. You have already, right from the very beginning, your father and mother, the impressions that you get at birth are very powerful. They're very powerful. And so, for you to take up Krishna consciousness is very easy. It's very easy. So this is the distinction and the fortune that you all have by taking birth in this Bharata-bhumi.
This is a conversation Prabhupada had with Lieutenant. He says, with all due respect, isn't it true that in India, where religious customs have been followed for centuries upon centuries, we are seeing not a return to, but a drawn away from spiritual life? Prabhupada said, yes, but it's due only to bad leadership. Otherwise, the vast majority of Indian people are fully conscious of God, and they try to follow the laws of God. Here in the West, even big college professors do not believe in God or in life after death. But in India, even the poorest man believes in God and in next life. He knows that if he commits sin, he will suffer, and he acts piously. He will enjoy. To this day, if there is a disagreement between two villagers, they will go to the temple to settle it, because everyone knows that the opposite parties will hesitate to speak lies before the deities. So in most respects, India is still 80% religious. That is the special privilege of taking birth in India. And again, he says, and this special responsibility. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said the famous verse, Bharata-bhumi te holy manusya jamajada, jamma satakakari para upakara. Anyone who's taken birth in India should make his life perfect by becoming Krishna conscious. Then he should distribute Krishna consciousness all over the world. It means all over the world, everywhere. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do one thing. He said, any Indian, any man who has taken birth on the soil of Bharat-varsha, he's got a special duty. And that duty is to spread Krishna consciousness. Bharata-bhumi te holya manusya jamajada, jama satakakari, pada upakara. To do good to others, pada upakara. So those Indians who are here, it is all right you are earning for some economic development. Because see, I tell you, in America, the number 2 most powerful lobby group in America are Indian community. They're number 2 behind the Jewish community. And it was not like that before because they're very powerful. They go there, economic development is very powerful. But then at the same time, those are the zeros. You gotta put the 1 in front of them zeros. It doesn't have no meaning in your life if you don't do that. You know, so it shows you the potential. And then Prabhupada, he's always so humble in his presentation and analysis of himself. He uses himself as an example. He said, I'm just one person. Just think of if everyone else was to help and take up the same mantle like I'm doing. We could change the whole world, Prabhupada said. So that's what we should want to do. And again, you're very fortunate. I'm seeing it here, you know. Just stay the course. Stay the course. Stay the course. That's all I can say. Just stay the course. And Prabhupada will surely help you. Surely he's in your heart. He sees what you're going through in your life, or whatever you're trying to accomplish on his behalf. Just stay the course. And he'll give you signs that'll be very clear so that you can see which choice to do. Because that's how I started this when we was very young. I was 15 when I first came. This picture in the book, Prabhupada was giving a lecture in 73. I was 15 years old. But at that one time did I not have faith in what Prabhupada gave, you know. So you have that faith, then he'll reciprocate the same way. There's no doubt. Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai.